waking up with back pain each and every morning and it just won't go away, I'm going to show you how in just 5 minutes every morning you can reset your spine, relieve that stiffness, and start your day pain-free. Back pain and stiffness is usually worse first thing in the morning, because if we have an issue back here in the middle of the night, our tissues, like our muscles, start to guard and protect that area, causing more and more compression. So usually you wake up super dang stiff and you're wondering, what the heck did I do last night? So what we want to do is be very strategic about how we loosen up the spine with specific movements. That's why in this video I'm going to show you 5 progressing movements that go in sequential order. So one unlocks the next, it makes the next one easier, so on and so forth. Before I dive in and start showing you the first move, if you have severe pain and disability due to lower back pain, then don't be a hero and try to guess if this is going to help you. Seek a local McKenzie Method practitioner. They'll be able to find the right treatments and rehab strategies to get you moving and grooving so you can get back to a pain-free lifestyle. So let's dive in. So the nice thing about each one of these movements is you could do them right in bed, or if you don't have room on your bed, then you could do them on the floor. They're going to start easy and then we're going to progress to more advanced movements. So the first move we're going to do if you're just waking up is lie on your back with your knees bent, and we're just going to be performing what we call lumbar spine windshield wipers. So you're going to pretend like your knees or your thighs are windshield wipers and you're slowly going to move them from side to side. So this is going to help reintroduce that lumbo-pelvic rotation, which for a lot of you is going to be tight first thing in the morning. So I'm aiming to do 10 going back and forth, and this is a really good audit to know if you're super stiff more than average. So as you're going through this, you're noting, is there any pain or discomfort? If so, just touch it and then just go on to the other side. As you start to do more of these, it should start to unlock and you're able to go further and further. All right, after my 10th one here, I felt like the movement was getting easier. That means green light, that means your body's craving it. So this is something you should definitely be doing each and every morning. The second move, we're gonna work more rotation, but this time from the top down. So we're gonna do an open book stretch. So you're gonna straighten one leg, keep that knee bent, pin that knee down to the bed or the floor. And then what you're gonna do is think about ripping your chest open as you start to rotate. You don't wanna cheat the movement and have your knee come up. So if you pin this, you're gonna be getting all of that rotation range through your spine. And this one should feel really good. If you have any discomfort, just touch it, come right back. But as you rep this out, if it feels good or you feel like it's opening up more and more, then what you do is you take a deep breath in and then breathe out as you rotate. And you're gonna aim for at least 5 on each side, 10 if you're super tight. So let's go to my other side. I'm gonna pin my right knee down, and I'm gonna open up towards this right side. I can tell I'm definitely a little bit stiffer here, so I'm not gonna push it as much. I'm just gonna start to experiment with the first couple reps. Oh, second one, I'm going further. So that's green light. That means I can start to push this a little bit each time. And like I mentioned on the other side, to enhance it further, deep breath in, let it out. If you want to hold it for like a static stretch and kind of open up all the way, nothing wrong with that, but that's extra credit. So there's our first 2 moves. We help open up rotation from the lumbopelvic area, and then we went right for rotation just above the lumbar spine. So we're starting to increase our overall spinal mobility to help take pressure off of this area. Now for our third move, I'm going to start in this quadruped or tabletop position. I'm going to rock my butt back to my heels and then start to reach overhead into what we call a child's pose position. If you've ever done yoga before, you've definitely done this move where you just kind of hang out here. Now you can time this for a good 30 to 60 seconds, but to take this to the next level, you would just be super intentional with your breathing. So as I'm here, I'm breathing out, and then I'm inhaling through the nose, and then letting it out. So what we're looking to do is drive more expansion, especially through the backside here, and that's gonna help decompress the joints and stretch the muscles at the same time. And it's a very beginner-friendly movement. It's hard to overdo this. Now, if you're having a hard time with your breathing, I like to think of breathing into my back like there's a balloon that I'm trying to inflate, or if you could feel your waistband here, think about trying to breathe into that pressure you feel. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, and then more extra credit as you breathe out. You can start to elongate and get a little bit more traction to decompress that area. So for that, you're gonna do a solid 10, 15 breaths if it's super tight. And it doesn't seem like much, but you'll be surprised at how just little movement like that will help open up that space. Speaking of, since we open up that space, we're gonna start to train that lumbar mobility. So I'm gonna get back into this quadruped or this tabletop, and we're just gonna do an oldie but a goodie, which is a cat-cow, where we start to sink into that extension, bringing our belly towards the bed or towards the ground until we feel some tension, and then we start to round it or get that nice cat back in the opposite direction until we feel it tugging. Now, if you have any discomfort during this, say if you're rounding, it really pulls in that area, again, just give it a smooch and then just turn it back into the other direction. If you're going into this extension range, if you feel any pinching down here, don't blast through it because that could make it worse. You're just gonna touch it and then stay in what I call the happy zone. Once you find that happy zone, especially if it's really tight, do about 5 reps back and forth. And then that 6th one, we can start to push it and see if we can go a little bit further. I feel more comfortable now in the extension. Definitely feel like I can get more into that flexion. And that's green light, right? So if it's getting easier as we're doing more, that means the body's craving it, but you just don't want to go 0 to 100 because that'll cause it to start guarding, protecting, and causing more compression. So after a solid 10 in each direction, we're ready for our final boss. It's my absolute favorite movement to reset, well, postures, especially if you work at a desk or if you have a long commute. And that's a good old Cobra Stretch. So if you've never done this one before, basically what you do is get into a push-up position, but instead of doing a push-up, you're just gonna start to peel your chest off the ground and try to restore that extension range through the lumbar spine. So I feel a little bit of discomfort here before I lock out my elbows. So I'm not gonna be a hero. I'm just gonna drop it right back down, and we're gonna see as we rep out 2 to 3 more if it starts to loosen up. Ooh, I can go a little bit further. Again, that's green light. That means it's craving it. You just don't wanna overdo it, especially first thing in the morning. So as I come up, nice, I can now fully straighten without any discomfort. If you're super, super tight, you might start to feel maybe a pinch or a pull right around here. Totally fine, just bring it back down. Stay within your happy range, and as you start to do more, if it's craving it, it'll start to loosen up more like it did for me. So we're gonna do a solid 10 of these. If it's feeling really good and you can extend all the way to take it up to that final level, what you do is you breathe in and then breathe out and let those hips sink further and further. And sometimes you can get a free pop in the low back, which means that space is really opening up. So there you have it. There's 5 moves, and it shouldn't take you any more than 5 minutes to do this. So if you're someone who's unfortunately waking up with a lot of lower back stiffness or even pain, here's how you can prime your spine while you're still in bed for the rest of your day. Now, for most of you, you're probably not gonna be pain-free after doing this routine just one time. So the secret sauce is building a consistent routine. So if you take 5 minutes each and every morning to do this right away, within a 1 to 2 week period, you're gonna start to notice some changes. Even if you still have symptoms, if you're able to move and do a little bit more than you could the week before, then you know this is progressing, and you gotta just keep it up until you reach your goals. And as I tell a lot of my patients with lower back pain, if you don't have time to do a 5-minute routine, then you deserve the back pain you're feeling. Sometimes I have to give them tough love because 5 minutes is only 0.35% of your total day. And if you can't carve out 1/3 of 1%, then there's a reason why you have this chronic discomfort. Also, if you're someone who experiences a lot of low back pain or tension during or after a workout, check out this video to see another helpful routine.